Well, hello there, and good day to you. Welcome to the daily download for today, which is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Let's take a look at the astrology that we are in today. How are we handling these energies today? What are we choosing to do about it today? The psychology of the astrology. So, looking at the moon, she's sitting here still in Gemini like yesterday, right? We talked yesterday about the moon in Gemini was opposing Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. This is the polarity between being very narrow-minded, focused on the bullseye right in front of us, and getting rid of distractions, versus Moon in Gemini, which opens our vision to our periphery, right? To be inundated with many, many variables. Yesterday we had the T square to the south node, Debbie Downer in Virgo, but also scrutinizing with great attention to detail and error finding, fault finding. If it goes too far, this can be a very toxic mind in the negative thinking. Worst case scenario, negative, creating fault, finding fault to an extreme and just pigeonholing the mind there, which just takes out positivity, hope, and really fixates on fault. And then we have the North Node with the Sun in Pisces, which is the stronger, right? Where we're being asked to, what are we going to do today? We're being asked to. That doesn't mean we're going to. It's up to us how we handle the psychology of the astrology for today. That North Node, Sun in Pisces, fate, as fate would have it. So that was yesterday. What we're looking at today, the moon is still in, what's going on here? The moon is still in Gemini for the rest of the day, really. And, I lost my cursor. Here we go. The moon is still for the rest of today, Wednesday, moving through Gemini. And in doing so, we'll connect to, here it is, a square to Venus that has happened already, and to Mercury in Pisces. Mercury and Venus, highlighted with the Sun and the North Node. Again, what are we feeling, Venus? What are we attracting to us, Venus? What are we thinking? Mercury. What are we speaking? Mercury. So what we feel, what we think in Pisces, squaring the moon in Gemini. There might be a, squares are when you are walking down a road and you get to a dead end, but it's a roadblock. Anyway, you can't keep going straight ahead. You have to make a 90-degree turn and walk this way to change. It's a forced change, and it is more of like the highlighting of, oh, we can take 5 more steps this way, we can take 2 more steps this way, or we can take 1 more step this way, but now we have to take that turn. And so it's a forced change in direction. And we might be noticing, Mercury is the ruler of where the moon is in Gemini. So I think the highlight of the moon in Gemini is taking it all in. We're exposed to so many different stories. We're exposed to many different mindsets, people, beliefs. It's how we and others that we have in our lives on a casual level, on a social level, in our home, in our families. And I guess, Venus and Mercury in Pisces allows us to be recipients, allows us to receive the vastness of different people and how they think and how they show up on a very mundane, temporary, in the moment experience. So a lot of characters that we are in the Piscean energy. It's like, okay, kind of observing and witnessing things that are in front of our faces. And we might have a reaction to it because here's the thing. We're going to look at Mars. Mars over here. Mars in Aquarius. That is like dynamite, right? An electromagnetic charge. Now, Mars has been in, let me see here if I have it in my notes. Mars arrived in Aquarius. Mars arrived in Aquarius on January 24th, 23rd, 24th. That's when Mars arrived in Aquarius. Mars conjoined with Pluto. Am I saying that right? No, I'm not saying that right. No, I am saying that right. Okay. Saturday, January 24th, Mars arrived in Aquarius. And the moon, the sun was in Aquarius on Pluto at 3-4 degrees. Mars conjoined with Pluto by I see here, January 28th. Okay. So from January 24th, January 24th to the 28th, what was going on? As Mars arrived in Aquarius, the sun was here on Pluto for these 4 or 5 days. And now Mars has moved through most of Aquarius. This was also the week on the 27th. So while Mars was doing all this in Aquarius, this right here, connecting to the sun, connecting to Pluto, the ruler of Mars, no, Neptune arrived in Aries. And soon after, February 14th, Valentine's Day, Saturn arrived in Aries, the ruler of Mars, traveling through the awakening of Aquarius. Big energy explosions, sudden changes in action, ideas, paradigm, mind-blowing epiphanies. And now, staying on track with the Mars and Aquarius, now Mars is getting ready to be trined by the moon later today. If you guys remember, I am a deep appreciator of Mars moon aspects, more so personally than Mars Venus aspects. I think Mars and the moon have more of an ignition, in your face ignition. I like that. Not everybody does. But so there is some kind of answer that comes to us later today as the moon moving through Gemini, in my opinion, harmonizes in that ignition to Mars in air sign Aquarius. I think there will be an answer ignited with that. That's good. We like that. So even though we have the square to Pisces with the other 2 personal planets there, this is more of like, you know, let's be the observer here. All right, let's be the witness, the observer to the Gemini moon and what that's going to bring in regards to people, dialogue, interactions right in front of our nose. It's, I want to say superficial in the sense that it is here today, gone tomorrow kind of, sort of. In other words, it's not something that sticks and you carry it with you for a long time. It's lighter, it's more immediate, it's about awareness of it, it's about witnessing it, and knowing that Moon in Gemini, it'll pass soon, quickly, but it needs to be witnessed and acknowledged by the Piscean energy to the best of our ability. And then the ignition of a realization and an ignition of an answer that comes to us. And again, this isn't necessarily anything heavy or long-term or profound. It's supposed to be quick, transformative, like turning the page of a book. It's just, I hope that makes sense. That is what we're looking at today, and of course, also Mars being in Aquarius is moving, influencing Saturn and Neptune in Aries. But more on that, it's like more on that next month when we're in the springtime, when we start spring, March and April, the end of March. So in exactly a month. But Mars here is definitely irritating. That's one way to describe Mars in Aquarius. It could, it could be irritating, causing friction, causing stress, chaos, stirring the pot, and Mars is very reactive. That's its nature. It reacts. And in Aquarius, it can be very sabotaging. But somehow it's necessary. Somehow it's provoking something. It's like not accepting the status quo, not accepting what the other two personal planets are doing in Pisces. Venus and Mercury are kind of taking a step back, kind of being Zen, meditative, witnessing, observing, kind of que sera, like non-reactive, just the drop of water in the ocean type of feel, like we're just in this Piscean ebb and flow, and we are at the mercy of God. And it's like, okay, just put the paddles in the canoe and just go where the current is going to take you. Witness, observe, learn, understand that we don't understand. Go for the ride. Mars is not happy, really, is not congruent. Mars is like, no, I'm not putting up with this status quo. I am not putting up with this, go downstream and just arrive wherever and witness whatever and absorb whatever. Mars in Aquarius is agitated, ignited, is not going to sit down quietly. needs to ruffle some feathers, needs to take action. And of course, Aquarius is disruption. So this can be quite a complex energy to process. When Mars arrives in Pisces. Oh, and also, that's what I want to talk about. Oops. Okay, ready? So, further highlighted by today, tomorrow, through the weekend, square to Uranus. Damn. You know, this is... So take everything I just said about Mars and Aquarius, you know, and square it to the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, and Taurus. And this is the eclipse degree. This is the eclipse degree. Let's erase all of this here to showcase. Yeah. This is the eclipse degree. That's all I can really say. Okay. Arguments, fights, arguments, fights, disorderly conduct, anger, frustration, a need for something to give, a need for something to change. Time is running out, patience is running out, and we're gonna just blow this up, you know, metaphorically, like just enough is enough. So that's happening starting today, of course. And starting today, what are we, February 25th? There we are, the very end of the very end of February. By February 28th, which is Saturday, Mars will be at 28 degrees of Aquarius. So, you know, expect maybe a little disruption between now and Sunday. The square is, because it's on the eclipse degree, is no laughing matter. This is not a joke. You know, if I want to go political, I'm not going to I'm not going to, but in our in our personal lives, something is going to break and change. This is the eclipse degree. Mars is hitting the eclipse degree in Aquarius, in a square to Uranus and Taurus. The time has come. Not about fear. The time has come. The time has come. We're out of time. That's what we're out of time. The time has come. And it is done. That's what this, from now until the weekend, is. Also, what we want to look for, which will be actually more relaxing, even though Mars likes being in Aquarius. So take that sledgehammer out and, break down some walls. Mars likes Aquarius. Maybe not the aftermath, but it likes Aquarius. It gets to be expressed in Aquarius. Mars does not like to be in Pisces, but it's kind of like Mars in Aquarius is intoxicated, drunk, kind of wild. And then when Mars arrives in Pisces, it's like, oh, hangover time, right? Or time to rest, or time to lick our wounds a little bit. It's kind of like damage control. Like, okay. Mars in Aquarius can also be like a toddler who's having a tantrum. Not allowed in our house. Because if you allow a kid to have a tantrum at 4 and 5, they're going to have a tantrum at 12 and 13. In my opinion. So tantrums not allowed. To the best of my ability. So yeah, Mars in Aquarius, it's a tantrum. It's a child having an outblown tantrum. And of course, when she was 2, I had those a couple, maybe a handful of moments where I had to like pick her up and carry her out of the store, out of the grocery store. That was when she was like 2.5. But she's an amazing kid. Oh my God, she's amazing. I wish you guys could meet her. She's absolutely amazing. I mean, hands down. Hands down. Yeah, Mars and Aquarius. A kid having an out of control tantrum where mama has to pick up the child under her arm, kicking and screaming, and walk right out of the store. Nothing works. Nothing works. Then Mars is going to arrive in Pisces, where it's like, okay, now you get to sit in your room. Now you get to sit in your room and think about what you did and the consequences of your actions. Mars in Pisces is also hospital. Like if we're injured by Mars in Aquarius, we go to the hospital to get treatment. Mars in Pisces is a deep slumber, a deep rest. And this will happen in March 3rd. Mars will arrive in Pisces in March 3rd. So what I'm trying to say is hang on. Fasten your seatbelt this weekend. As of right now, pronto, fasten your seatbelts and wait until March 3rd. It's fun doing this again with you all. It's going to be a wild ride for the next couple of days. Just remember it's hitting that eclipse degree. And so, whatever that tantrum child or that sledgehammer or that patience has run out or that it's time, there's no negotiation, there's no coming to the table. Something has been set, an action is absolutely required, or I would even say a reaction will be had. It's the nature of the dynamic. It's the nature of a 2.5-year-old. Like it is an energy that has to express itself. It's an energy that needs to be seen and heard. And it is an energy whose time has come, and it's going to change things. Yeah. It is going to create change. Remember, we're in the eclipse window until we have the full moon in Virgo. Good old South Node down there. Good old South Node down there. Oops. Sorry. Oops. I kid you not, I had not done any of this computer stuff in 3 years. Forgot how much I used to do. The website, the this, the that, it's all gone. It's just this now, simple. Let's keep it simple. Shall we? Please keep it simple. If you're interested in a reading with me through Venmo, this is it. And hope you guys have a nice day today. It's a little daunting. It's a little daunting, everything that was just said here, a little daunting, but this is where we are. And look forward to that moon later on today, getting some kind of answer in her air trine to Mars today. There's an answer. There is an answer that will be revealed. And forward and onward we go, and nothing will stop us. That's the energy. It's like nothing's going to stop this. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Take care.